afternoon, my classmates and professors. Today I will talk about. My name is Nathan Tan, and after I finish my AMC, I will talk about. I will be the my major will be the computer science. So that's the reason I talked about one of the important topic, which is about the cyberbullying, and why I think this is very important because so far the communication become more and more convenient, and everyone has the cell phone, everyone has the laptops, so and everyone has their own Facebook account, something like this. So the cyberbullying become more and more familiar than before. So first, I would love to share the definition of the cyberbullying. So cyberbullying is a bullying that takes place using electronic technology. Electronic technology includes devices and equipment such as the cell phone, computer, tablets, as well as communication tools, including social media sites, text message, chat, and website. So, uh, that's so most of most everyone has this kind of things. So that's what I said. The cyberbullying become become more easier than before and let the young generation affected by the bullying. So now I would love to share some background information, which about the U.S. Which is about the U.S. government law. We live in California, so for example, as an example, the state of California, we have the education code. So one of the code mentioned that the department should develop an online training model to assess all school staff, administrators, parents, pupils, and the communities members to increasing their knowledge by dynamics of bullying and cyberbullying. So you can see for the state of California, the government really want the school and the parents or some people who relate with the school um, to help children to prevent the cyberbullying. So, in order to keep the children who are in the junior high school and the period of time such as the 12 years old through the 18 years old children away from the cyberbullying. And the cyberbullying also should be addressed through the school policy and the procedures, through the uh, parental involvement, and through the social and the government policies. So, what is the effective way to prevent the cyberbullying and to help the children, the young generation, to get rid of the cyberbullying? Here is the three domains. The first one is the school, and second one is the parents, and the third one is about the society and government. So, here's the question: how are these three domains can help students to prevent the cyberbullying? So let's talk about the first one, how school help children prevent cyberbullying. What so actually the school action right now is provide a student cyberbullying information, and also they create some school policy and a student code such as the block some website, and also have some cell phone policy. You can use the cell phone on campus, and from the wild kids they mentioned the school can provide information to students about the legal ramification of cyberbullying, as well as make it a part of the school's policy and the student code of conduct with regard to use the technology and appropriate and respectful interaction to communicate with physical, emotional health of the student with specific consequences, details. So what is my suggestion? My suggestion is school can make some courses, sometimes even some mental health uh, service to help children to get rid of the cyberbullying. So, but some of people may argue most of cyberbullying happen off campus. So actually, from this point, school don't have any responsibility to take care of this part of the business. And from the stopbullying.gov, one of the government website, they mentioned when students try to get involved by disciplining the students for cyberbullying action that took place off campus and outside of the school hours, and actually school always lose at this point. So actually, most of people think is for school to take care of the off-campus cyberbullying, it's impossible. But here's the here's another way to to let the schools help students, such as avoid a step into the private rights. So what can schools do? Here's one of the references from NoBullying.gov. They said schools can be very effective brokers in working with the parents to stop with the remedy cyberbullying situation. So, just this, what can school do is keep talk with the students, the parents, and make know some detail from the student background and know the student what they did at home. So it can really help the students know, help the school knows what they did and what can they do on campus to help students. So next let's move on how the parents can help the children prevent the cyberbullying. And so far, most of the parents make the home policy, such as keep the home computer in business area of your house, or something like the set up the email chat account with your children, and make sure you know their screen name, password, and don't leave any personal information in their online profile. So that's the most part of the parents did right now. So, but it is kind of the not effectively. So my suggestion is parents should not only make the home policy, but also should keep communication with the children, with their kids. So some some people may argue that kids do not tell adults or close relatives when they are cyberbullied. And also, when the parents try to help them, whether the parents help effectively or not, nobody knows about it. So, and the doctor Eve Brank, who is a professor of law and psychology, she said it is impossible to speak about whether they are good tool or not. We know that parents currently play an important role in raising their children, but we do not know the effect of imposing legal sanction on them. So that's what people consider about whether the help is effectively or not, or whether the children tell you the truth or not. Nobody knows about it. So how can parents help their kids? This might be true, but we are the parents. The responsibility is help their own children, and they are our kids, and they are the young generation. So we have responsibility to take care of it. And Justin mentioned in 2013, without a doubt, parents have a duty to do their part of the issues that that their kids do not bully others. As adults, parents or others like the close relative, it is our responsibility to teach teens to disagree or even debate in civil manners. So especially what I'm talking about is the children who are still in the junior high school. So their mental health is still not like adults. So that's the parents' responsibility to teach teenagers how to solve the question, how to solve the problem. So let's move on to the final point. So how society or government help children prevent the cyberbullying? So what do we have right now in our society? First is we have the social organizations such as ETCB, which is an organization with the to end of the which called the end of the cyberbullying. I will introduce after a few minutes. And also we have the state government laws such as with like I mentioned before, California Education Code. That's what we have. And so what is ETCB? ETCB is one of the organization called the End to Cyberbullying. It is a state certified non-profit organization in hope to create a social network devoting cyberbullying. by raising awareness and informing members of both of our community or our globe. So the purpose of this organization is try to teach the teenager, their parents, sometimes even the educators, what is cyberbullying and how they can prevent, how they can stop the cyberbullying in their life. So, but here's my suggestion: the government should post a federal law which make a standard and the target not only the school but also the parents. So from this point, the target not that I mean just let the parents do something. It's mandatory and it's supposed to according to the law. But actually, so far we only have the state government and state code, the state law. That's the question. What we have. The problem right now is people think it is unnecessary to have the federal law to address the cyberbullying. And also, the cyberbullying current situation in the United States does not have any federal law directly address the cyberbullying. So that's the problem. And the Justice mentioned in 2009 said the vast majority of adolescents are cyberbullying. Incentives can and should be dealt with informally by parents with the help and support of educators, other community leaders, and the local law enforcement. So people think it is unnecessary because some if they think the parents think about if some volunteers can help them to combine with the parents, schools, and the victim, like the children themselves together, they can solve the problem effectively. And so it is unnecessary to post the federal law. But however, on the other hand, it is not the truth. I think the federal is really necessary for the children's futures. And what, in my mind, what is the federal law in the future looks like? In my view, a comprehensive anti-cyberbullying should be clear about what is cyberbullying, because so far each state's the standard is different, and also inclusive, and have support of school, law, and the parents. So that's what I mentioned before. It should be not only focused on the school, but also should be focused on the parents. And also, some people said it also needs the clear directive to local school districts, and also it's like the appropriate like found the mandates or incentive for internet safety and the responsibility. So that's what I think about in the future what the federal law looks like. On the other part of the on the other also other part of the United States government can help the students to solve the cyberbullying, and they can be involved, such as the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights and the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division may be able to help the students who affect by the cyberbullying. So, in a nutshell, what is so for the school part? If the school can keep talking with the students, and it can make some course and make some more directly policy about cyberbullying, sometimes even the mental health service, it can help students solve the cyberbullying issues. For the parents, not only just post the home policy which about the cyberbullying, also communicate, make some dialogue with the children is also the most important part in the life, and for the society and government. Uh, post a federal law more directly address the cyberbullying and also make a standard about what is cyberbullying. So it can help the each state and help the parents have the direction to help the children. And also when the cyberbullying happens, the judges can know how to judge the problems. So so that's the I think if we combine these three, it will be the effective way to prevent the cyberbullying. So thank you for your participation, and now I'm free to please free to ask me questions. like I mentioned, like okay, thank you for your question. Uh, actually, like I said before, the school can take some like the cyber ethic, like the what you can do on online, and when what kind of situation happens and how you can deal with it, and also like I said, the mental health process because some in American some students already being affected by cyberbullying. So school can provide some this kind of courses and help them to get through the problem, and and it just kind of the change their mental issues, something like this.